Alright, so welcome back. It's been about 30 minutes since we popped these Jello glue slimes in the ice water. You can also put them in the fridge. And we're going to look at some of the properties of them as we sort of change the amount of Jello to the amount of Jello and glue. Alright, so our sort of starting one, right, where we had 2 parts Jello to 1 part glue, right? So we sort of label that with a 0. You sort of see that it's formed this nice little ball here, right? It's pretty sticky, but it's definitely a slime-like material. You can pick it up, you can stretch it if you want. We can stretch it a bit. Okay, it's eventually going to tear, and with it sort of forms a nice little, sticky, gooey product. It doesn't quite bounce, but it's in this sort of like state between sort of a sticky liquid and sort of a gooey solid. Okay. The one where we had less of the Jello, right? So the Jello's the part that's going to hold all the different parts of our glue together. That one there forms this really sticky, gooey, slimy product there. It sort of hangs off there and eventually it's going to fall apart and hit the spoon, right? So that's kind of what we have when we have less of a Jello. We end up with more of a gooey, slimy type product there. We see it fall apart. And then the last one where we had a lot of Jello, okay, that one there really forms a nice solid material there, right? So this one here is definitely gooey, slimy, but it's definitely a lot stiffer. If we actually pick it up and play with it, you can feel this one here is substantially stiffer and a little bit, more like a solid, a little bit harder. Let's say this one here was our starting point, so we sort of put them side by side. We can feel that this one here is a lot softer than the one where we had more of a Jello. And we'll put up a little explanation of what's going on, but the key thing is our glue contains lots of long polymer molecules, right? These are really long molecules, a bit like sort of, chains or like, snakes. The Jello's what is holding all those different parts of the snake together. It's like we're sort of putting the chains or the snakes all together and making really big molecules out of it by having the bits of glue stick to each other through the Jello. The more Jello we have, the more of these sorts of bonds or interactions between the long molecules we have. We end up with a stronger and stiffer material. So that's kind of a really fun experiment. Certainly we can imagine trying this, setting it up right before a recess break, leaving it in the fridge or in the ice over a recess break, and then looking at it right after a 20-30 minute break. Hopefully this is a cool experiment that you'll try out in your own classroom or in your socially distanced classroom, and give it a go. All you need is glue and Jello and a bit of ice. Thank you.